Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Ready? Dawn, you ready?
No, just give me 1 minute here. So we have to go with safety first, right?
Go to public safety first.
Okay.
I'd like to call the City of Mayville Public Safety Committee meeting to order at 6:18 p.m. Please take the roll.
Alderperson Baker,
Here.
Alderperson Olson,
Here.
Alderperson Newman,
Here. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
All right, item 3, approval of the minutes of the June 23rd, 2025 Public Safety Committee meeting.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Newman, second by Olson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any citizen comments? All right, citizen comments are to be kept to a maximum of 5 minutes per speaker unless the chairperson allows an extension of time. Each citizen is to make comments at the podium after stating name and address. Each citizen may comment only one time per public hearing/meeting.
Asher Rosenberg, 654 North Main Street. Since this is a public service one over the police department, I was trying to follow up about a Freedom of Information Act request that is exceeding 59 days currently. The state average is less than 40 some days. So I'm trying to get some answers to that in the police department. Chief Dolner was included on the email with that request. It's a written request. We've yet to receive a written response or information that was requested back in May.
You haven't got any response?
We have not gotten any response. We followed up at the police department previously. Got told that they are short-staffed currently. My fiance followed up this morning on it, and she got told something would be coming shortly. But that's 59 days without a response from a very small town police department. So bring it to the attention of the committee now, since the police department's not currently responding to that.
What was your name again?
Asher Rosenberg.
What was it in reference?
It was in reference to a traffic stop conducted by one of your lieutenants. I can follow up with you after this if you'd like.
Sure, yeah, I would like to.
And then secondly, as a citizen, we'd also like to see preferably some hours of operation for the police department posted by the front door. City Hall has it. There's no hours online or publicly available to anybody to know when.
24/7.
Well, the police department is, but not the office area. So something like that would be kind of nice for transparency.
All right.
That's all I have for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shelley Hybeck, and I live at 407 Sites. Stephanie, I believe, or Nicole read my statement 2 weeks ago at the meeting about the tornado disaster relief. I just want to clarify that I was no way intending that the entire amount be spent on trees. I got a little bit of flack about that. I just thought it would be a nice, maybe a little chunk of it could go to trees. And then additionally, I heard that you are considering creating a citizen committee to handle this money. I agree with that. That's it.
Thank you. Hey, thank you.
Anyone else?
The item she spoke of is on the agenda for the special common council that's meeting after the finance committee. Should I wait?
You can go now.
Justin, oh, perfect, perfect. Rachel Smith, for South Main. Hi, guys. So if you guys are looking for citizens to assist with the committee for research or to hear what the public would like to do, I just wanted to offer my help and availability.
Thank you.
That's it. Is there gonna be discussion I should hang around for on that?
It's gonna be later,
Later, the three.
at the common council meeting.
Yeah, but no, like, public discussion, I could see it online. Cool, thanks, guys.
Anyone else? All right. 5. 5A, monthly police department report to the public safety committee.
Good evening, everyone. We'll start with just some stats for July. Up to date, we're at about 400 calls for the month. The officers have been very busy with a number of calls every shift, but things are going well. We're involved in a number of investigations that are currently going on, and this past week or this month, we had the chiefs meeting at our department. And we focused on some issues we've been having with human services, specifically juvenile intake, which we're working out some things. But otherwise, everything's going really well. I want to remind everyone that we have National Night Out next Tuesday, 5 p.m., August 5th, 5 to 8 at the Take Center. We'll have some bounce house and a dunk tank and a bunch of activities for kids. We invite everybody to come out.
When's that?
August 5th, Tuesday next week, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Coastal.
You gonna be in the dunk tank?
It sounds like I will be, yeah.
Sounds great. Fabulous.
We have a new squad car, which is done. We got notifications done today. We're gonna go pick that up this week. And then we'll have our old 2019 Ford Explorer that will be available for the other departments, or that, or we'll auction it off. That's out there. And from the police department, that's really about it. So do you have any questions for a monthly report?
All right.
Right.
You got the next two items.
Yeah, you may as well stay up there.
Yeah.
We got one going.
All right, discuss with possible action tornado siren failure.
Okay, so the last tornado event that we had, and I was trying to figure out the date, July 16th. We had a number of weather events and a number of fronts that came through Dodge County, and there was a number of warnings that came in at different times. And at 3:04 p.m., we would have Dodge County Sheriff's Department would have signaled our tornado sirens via their radio to go off. And when that occurred, one of the sirens did not work. And it is a brand new siren. Everything, including the pole, is brand new. And this is out on River Drive, out in Whitefield. So we noted that it didn't go off. The weather event was passed. At 4 o'clock, I was actually out there on site on a ladder on the phone with emergency communications signal corp that installed it. And we did a number of tests that night, and everything worked out fine. I wasn't satisfied with that. We talked with them the next day. We went through some more tests, and we determined that our side of things from the city of Mayville is functioning. And what I mean by that is we now have a system where we can communicate back and forth with the tornado sirens, and we can troubleshoot to a degree if something doesn't work, or at least be notified if something doesn't work. Before, we didn't have that in the past. And it showed a fault that it didn't operate. And when we did all our tests from our Mayville side, everything was operating properly. And by that, I mean, we use a different radio channel to monitor and test them from our office. The Dodge County Dispatch uses a different radio signal, a VHF radio signal, to set those tones off from their location. And We also tested that the next day. Specifically, I called and did a cancel test and actually had the box and was on the ladder and listened to make sure it worked. And since then, we have had the company come out and look at it and diagnose it. It's there to say everything is fine. We also had them come and reprogram all of our sirens so that we can test them individually. I don't know that that means that we can test them all one at a time, but I think we can send a signal that's specific to each one to determine if it isn't working or isn't working through the county, and working with Joe Maher and the install company on that. And so far, all those tests have turned out to be fine. So it's frustrating. I don't have an explanation why it didn't work. The best thing that was, or the most, I guess, the thing that was described to me that was somewhat understandable, it was described to me that when they send a notification to each siren location in the city, that it's set with a specific set of tones that are milliseconds apart. And if there's any kind of interference with another radio channel or atmospheric conditions, or there was a number of reasons, if some of that wasn't communicated, or if it was described, it would be like staticky over the radio, there's a chance that it just did go off and it got missed. So we're going to keep working on that, and we're going to keep monitoring it and make sure that it doesn't happen again. But I don't have a great answer.
Is there any way of testing without you getting up on a ladder?
Yeah. So I can test it from here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I wanted to go up there and specifically hear the solenoids click, like when the county set it off.
Okay.
But I just wanted to do it myself, not that, and the company's been great, but it just takes out any middle interference, if you will. I went up and listened to it myself, and it worked. So I don't have any better explanation for it, so it's frustrating. So it's been testing out and working since the Saturday before that. That was on a Wednesday, I believe, the 16th. The Saturday before that, it tested out from the county signal, and that all went fine. And the next Saturday, just the same. So that's about all I can tell you on that. So I wish I had more information, or, it's one of those things I wish there would have been, or we would have found something that we could have fixed up and wrong, at least so it gives us peace of mind, but that's where we're at with it, so.
Are any of the other sirens audible from in that area?
Not necessarily. With our new system now, because we just have the 5 sirens that circle the city, if one of those sirens doesn't work, then they don't get notified. There's not, they can't hear it very well. And especially with that event where we had some winds coming from the east and then they switched south to southerly, I could see why, there wouldn't be any notification, outside. So that brings me to the next line item with some suggestions. So does anybody have any questions on that? I could try and answer.
We don't know what we don't know. Yeah, right.
All right, so go on.
Go ahead with,
So the next line
let
item,
me read it out loud.
yeah.
5C, discuss with possible action options for extended tornado siren coverage.
So with that, what I'm meaning is, and I haven't had any direct complaints to the PD on this specific topic in this location, meaning the location in the center of the city. Basically, the tornado siren that we used to have behind the PD here, which we no longer have there. The word is, and the concern is that the tornado sirens in the center of town are not loud enough. And we went out and listened when we did the tests, and you can hear it outside in that, but it's not nearly as loud as what it used to be. And I just looked at some options of a little bit of redundancy in case we do have a siren that doesn't work. And I talked with the installer, Emergency Communications, and we came up with 2 options. We could do 2 things. One would be just put up a brand new 6 tornado siren to the cost of around $35,000. It's a rotating system, and that would be the most expensive route. But then I also asked, we did have a number of sirens that we took out, and some of those sirens were functional, and one of them was within 10 years old. And the question I had was, could we take that siren and some of the equipment from that, put it on a pole, update it? We'd have to update the 2-way radio communication so that we can monitor it, because we didn't have that before. And he came up with a cost of around $15,000. That would be a new pole, new radio system. The used siren head that was originally the city's that they took down and installed and delivered complete behind the PD here as somewhat of a redundancy measure. to kind of increase the decibel level in the center of town and in between when some of those newer sirens are rotating. So it's just a suggestion. I think it maybe would solve some of the complaints that I'm seeing, and most of the complaints I'm seeing are online, and people are concerned that they can't hear it and that. But I still have to stress that the sirens are not designed for you to hear them in your home. And in the past, when people could hear them in the home, it all depended on how close they were to a siren. And the question was asked, and I asked it, what would it take to get sirens so that we could hear them in our homes, or that would be a better, warning system in that. And the answer that I came up with made some sense, is that if we make the sirens louder, then they become dangerous when you stand next to them outside, but then you'll be able to hear them in your house. So the decibel levels and how they work and how they're designed is for that, that purpose, so that they're within, when you're standing outside next to them, they don't damage your hearing, but they're not designed to be heard inside the residence. So,
And how did we get by with the old one all these years?
what's that?
How did we get by with the old sirens all these years?
Well, that I could argue is, we got by, but there was a lot of times where we didn't have a certain siren work. And
No, I'm talking about, if the old sirens were louder, how did we get by if we're standing so close to them old sirens? Because they've been actually, that's what reading must have been a lot, higher.
So the old sirens were louder collectively, but they weren't louder individually. They were, because there was more of them, they were loud. They were considered to be louder. That's what it was.
And it's built for, obviously, when you're outside.
Right, but this is the same company, before we went to them, they
Right.
told us that they reassured us that everything was gonna work. We
Right,
only needed 5.
right.
This is all the stuff that he promised us, right?
We talked about that.
And what we did talk about with that is if everything works and they're all 5 were working, they were good. But then if we have one that goes down, we don't have that that redundancy of coverage like we had before when we had more sirens. So that's what we came up with.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So here, I heard this answer, I hear this answer from you all the time, but the topical flash floods, tornadoes lately have been coming at night when you're in bed. Your cell phone is probably turned off, and unless you have a NOAA radio, you rely on being able to hear this while you're in the house. You're not outside, and you're not gonna sit there waiting to see water rise outside. So I think the old system was like at 11:30, you used to check whatever, 12:30 on Saturdays, whatever it is. I heard it this week. My wife couldn't hear it. But it's a little less loud than it used to be. I rely on the fact that we should be able to hear them. And we've had flash flooding in this town. We've had events that happened overnight. I'd like to be able to think if something is going on, I'd like to be able to hear it. Because I'm not gonna be outside. It's 4 a.m. So I don't know. I can't say that I don't like your answer, but I'm saying I don't like your answer.
And I would, if there was a way we could design a system so everybody could hear it in their house,
We had one.
well, some people could hear it. There were some people that couldn't. It all depended on your proximity to the sirens. But then the old system, we also had it where we couldn't tell if one siren wasn't working one day over the next, So that was the whole purpose of the new system, and then consolidate it down so we don't have so many sirens to maintain, and, from a cost-effective perspective. And they did a decibel study and they did a map and the way that it should all go, and that's what I went by. That's as much information as I could get to make a decision.
What about putting one on a hill, like the cemetery hill or some high point in Mayville, that would go around? I don't know if you could legally do that or not, but just
Sure.
an idea.
Yeah, and that's kind of my thoughts are if we were to add a 6th siren to kind of create some, in case it's just kind of a fail-safe, instead one doesn't work, or if the winds are from a certain direction or something like that, just for some more warning right in the center of the town. Because our current system is designed, it circles the whole city. And then 3 of those sirens rotate. And then when you have times when the siren is rotating, it's facing away from where you are, it's not as loud. But then as it spins back around, it sounds louder, but then it gets quieter.
Right.
And that's something that's new too, that people aren't used to. Because before, all the sirens were just stationary, and they just had one constant decibel sound. They would go up, ramp up, and then ramp down. So there's a little difference in that too, like with the current design.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I mean, we bought 5 sirens for $110,000. Wouldn't it make more sense instead of buying one for 35, just buy another 5 for 110 and just have redundancy see if they don't grow the whole town?
Well, when we originally did it, we bought 3 sirens for 105,000. We kept 2 of the existing ones.
Oh, we did.
And then we upgraded all 5 locations with a 2-way radio system so that we could monitor it here. That's how we did it.
So it's coming out about the same price, adding one downtown. I think it's a good idea to add one here.
Yeah.
And maybe if there's any other dead spots, I don't know. But
Yeah,
tell you what, when they used to work at Metalcraft with their, when they were building those machines and they'd stay awake all night and everybody's, we could hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, when conditions are perfect, blue sky and there's no wind, they sound different than if we have a front coming through and we have, wind sheet, we have wind. There's definitely a difference in that, So,
Well, it's something to think about here.
yeah.
Any other questions? I think this is worth bringing to council, so I'm gonna make a motion to go with option 2. Add a 6th siren, upgrade, or take one of our old sirens and refurb the electronics.
For 15,000.
Mhm.
I'll second that.
All right, motion by Baker, second by Newman. All those in favor, say aye.
Oh, wait a minute. You're gonna make a funding source or no? Where's
Make a
the
what?
funding, where's the funding coming from? Or you want staff look into it and give you a recommendation at council? Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Monthly EMS report?
Good evening, everyone. Our month's report is we're about 80 calls ahead, still helping out our neighbors. We've been doing an amazing job as crews. We are actually, when we find out we are covering for another municipality, we are staffing 2 ambulances, just so that everybody's covered, which has been working out great. We have 7 people signed up for our EMT class, which starts August 28th. Training wise, we had really great training this month by Roy Smalley. He attended a class about salt triage, which deals with trauma, which was just a great, going over it again, just in case we unfortunately used a tornado as a, if this is what we had to do. So great training. We received 4 triage bags, which includes trauma kits, to go on the ambulances for free from a grant because he attended the class. So that's pretty awesome. Staffing, the only staffing I have is that Christine, this is her, she will be retiring as of August 1st. So that is our only staffing change that we have right now. Otherwise, we are pretty well full for staffing at this time, but we'll always take people who are licensed. So we have some people who we're working with in our training center that have been having trouble getting licensed through other technical colleges and have asked to do ride time with us. So I think they're going to want to apply. And all I have left is with National Night Out, we also are going to have our cash raffle out there. And we'll be having a training center table out there, so stop by if you're interested. Any questions? Yes.
So when we cover for these other municipalities, because they don't have coverage, do we get any other compensation for that?
We do get all the revenue from.
Just the revenue,
Mhm.
but we don't get anything besides revenue?
No, not at this
And the
time.
question is how long are we gonna let this go?
That's a good question. It is something that,
Because, we've had this before where a municipality wanted us to cover, we did it for a year, we could jack forward except for the extra, calls. And it's like, I think you took advantage of the situation.
yeah,
We did
account for some of that with the way we changed to the flat rate, so they are paying significantly more than contracts or non-contracts.
Yeah, but that's the person that's responding,
Yeah,
not the actual municipality.
Those are valid conversations that need to be had, you know, I mean, City of Beaver Dam, if they go into another territory, they charge a flat $600 no matter what.
Right, so that's, I mean, the municipality we're talking about.
Yeah.
How, retail.
Yes, yes, I think that's definitely something that, I know it's Stephanie and I and Christine have talked about it with Innovation Grant. That some of the studies that they're doing is talking to the other municipalities, and one of them is definitely being talked to.
Right, that's the one that guys talk to about the other.
Yeah, so,
And that grant should prove that up for you to
yeah,
have.
to be a part of the conversation.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 5E, monthly fire department report.
Good evening, how are you tonight? It's gonna be a quick one for us tonight.
Good to see you.
So in our equipment, all our repairs are done on the engine, so they did pass their pump tests. So that's all, and the DOTs were passed also. Last Friday, we just did our department hose and ground ladders. They were all tested. We had no failures this year. So that's good at this point in time. We don't have to go buy any new fire hose because it all passed. And I had a couple minor repairs done today. We'll be getting that bill later in the week. We're still on budget with that. Any question on equipment? None? Then personnel, we're still at 22. Our new applicant had his physical on Friday, waiting for that. I'm hoping to have him on board by the end of next week. Then we'll be up to 23. For our members that have signed up for the fall classes, they're registered, but now we're waiting to see if the work on campus is going to have enough attendance to hold the class. One or two of the classes are closed. They need so many students to have the class. Chief Engel and myself we're finishing up our personnel training schedule for the remainder of this year and next year. We have some ideas, but keep that in line. And then in August and September, you're going to see more fire trucks driving around town because we start our annual driving skills. They take the engines around. We also have a class to take the aerial around, so you'll be seeing that. Anything on personnel? Lastly, is fire calls. Year to date, we're 77 calls. We had 18 calls since the last meeting. We're on pace for about 140 calls this year. On those calls, we had 4 fire alarms, 3 auto aid alarms, 2 death assists, 2 Mavis calls where we went out of town to help other communities, 2 EMS lift assist, 1 water rescue, 1 weather related. It was a tornado warning, 1 trash can fire, 1 brush pile fire, and 1 community assist call. Any questions on calls?
Are you about on the same pace as last year, or both below or what?
Might be a little bit more again this year. We, like this last 2 weeks, we had like 14 calls, so it varies. But right now we're on pace for 140. So.
Remember how many you had last year?
I thought it was 137, but don't quote me on it. I could get it back to you.
Come on, spot.
Yeah. The memory bank's full. I can't pull that one out.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, item 6, adjournment.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Newman, second by Olson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
All right, we got the City of Mayville Public Works Committee. Call the order at 6:46. Approval of the minutes. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Take the roll, please.
Alderperson Smith,
Here.
Alderperson DeBaker,
Here.
Alderperson Levenow.
Present.
All right. Approval of the minutes from June 23rd.
Move to approve the minutes. Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 3, citizen comments. Seeing none. Item number 4, for a monthly Department of Public Works report to the Public Works Committee.
Hello, good evening. Jack's report this month is their new employee start of the day, so as of today, they are fully staffed. Digger's hotline is busy, and he might say busier than usual at some points. Resurfacing is 100% completed now. Brush pickup is, just a reminder, brush pickup is the second and last Monday of every month, I believe, up until October, and then it goes to once a month. They started painting the crosswalks and curbs since the resurface season is done. They have been working on doing all their lawn cutting they do around by like wastewater and other random spots that the city owns. They are also doing a lot of truck repairs right now, like the parks. Their vehicles are slowly withering away, and they got, I think, 2 or 3 of them broke down right now, and they are working on them in the house, so they're saving quite a bit of cost there. They're also on a big catch basin repair kick right now, just trying to keep up with all the roads that we're doing next year, just to stay on the ball and stay ahead of the game for stuff like that. Bulk pickup was this past Saturday, and it was extremely busy. They had to make a little pile outside all the dumpsters since all the dumpsters got burned up right away, or used up, I should say. And then as well as the bulk pickup, there was the electronic drop off. That was this past Saturday at Tyler Park as well. I did not hear how that went, but I'm assuming that goes well because that's always a big hit for here in Mayville because the surrounding communities come to that one. And then last but not least, they are going to be starting street sweeping again here for I think the 3rd or 4th round for the summer here. So you'll be seeing that machine going about 1 mile an hour around town for the next month.
I have a question.
Yes.
2 of them actually. If you could forward this to Jack. There's a curb where I live, and I brought it up 2 other times. It's actually breaking apart, and it's not gonna take much for it to completely come off. That needs to be addressed. There's also on Dagner, beyond my home, that the curb is ready, a chunk, ready to come off.
Okay.
And I thought it would be fixed, but it has not been yet.
Okay.
My other question is, how many dumpsters were there on Saturday?
I believe they use 6 of them.
6.
And usually the first few, even though we're in July already, it's usually they fill them up pretty much every time, if not more. So, and then GFL just brings whatever we think more, 1 dumpster, 2 dumpsters, and they fill that one up and then take it away.
Thanks, Jake.
Anything else?
I have a question. I have a couple of my constituents asked me to check into the intersection of the River and German Street, that curve there. They used the gravel keeps getting thrown out by,
Oh, and that driveway down on.
not the driveway, just the curve itself. It's not the driveway.
Oh, yeah.
And the gravel's there, and it's a hazard for people on bikes and stuff. And I think it's caused by,
I assume the ground is not packed it down yet from when
right,
he's
and
standing.
they didn't use,
Scraped it.
they didn't use traffic bond or
Well,
road
they
bond.
use 3/4 TV, and once rain and traffic takes
I
turns
know,
too short,
but
but it eventually
the
pack
big
down.
trucks, they like to pull, they lay a little rubber and come around there and
This is true.
and we haven't swept it out, and you gotta find a way to take care of that better or something, because someone's gonna get hurt.
Yeah. Practical.
And I told the couple of people in my ward that I would bring it to your attention.
Yep.
There we go.
That works.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Anybody else have a question for Jake?
Thank you, Jake.
All right, monthly tag center report to the Public Works Committee.
Mr. Wild is unavailable this evening, but he did submit a report, which I'll read. Sorry I couldn't make the meeting tonight. I had the final night of our rec tennis class. With the recent hot weather, our AC units have been working overtime. One of our chilling units failed twice, but we had it repaired both times. We also had a hot water circulation pipe spring a leak 2 weeks ago, which unfortunately caused the water damage through the ceiling in the women's locker room. On a brighter note, the first shipment of our capital improvement plan fitness equipment is scheduled for delivery in 2 weeks. The timing is ideal as some of our older equipment recently went down. Last Friday, we had the bid opening for the seal coating of the Tag Center parking lot. Our summer swimming lessons wrapped up last week. Most of the classes were full and went very well. We're continually looking to finalize we're currently working on finalizing our fall rec program. Adult softball has concluded for the season, and tonight marks the final tennis class. In August, we began recertifying our lifeguards and onboarding new ones. As always, we have several guards heading off to college, but I'm hopeful that we'll be fully staffed again. We've got 1 more month of our summer hours. After Labor Day weekend, we'll transition back to our winter schedule. If you have any questions, feel free to call or email me anytime. John Wild.
I guess that was both Parks and Tag Center. Or was it just Tag? No,
That was
he gave a Parks.
Well, he,
Wait, said it can report it.
I don't know.
All right, Jake.
Jake's gonna give a report on parks.
Oh, Jake's gonna give the report on Parks. Okay.
Hello again.
All right, for the parks, like I mentioned before, kind of had a bad month for vehicles. At one point, 3 of our 4 trucks were down, and we have 2 of them back, and 1 goes in tomorrow, and then we should be back to go. Our summer kids, they've been, it's their summer too, so they've been off on vacation for a little bit. But it's good timing since baseball and softball and all that soccer is slowing down. All we have is men's league and women's league for softball now. They've been busy cutting grass, and then right now I have them edging as much of the city sidewalks as I can think of. So today they worked on around City Hall. They edged all this. They edged in front of Maltos grounds in the senior center. Tomorrow they're going to be edging the sidewalk along the river. So that's been keeping them busy for quite some time. If you notice, there is a new little library in Foster Park. We installed that, I believe, 2 Fridays ago, and it seems to be a pretty big hit. So the lady from down at Posey's, Jessica, Jess, she has like 1 or 2 more coming. This next one's going to be going down by Ziegler Trail. It's marsh themed, so it kind of fits the theme down our Ziegler Trail along the river there. As July is, we have our music in the square, so on Thursdays, the kids help set that up with the tents and stack everything that needs to be done, bring the tables out, get the stage ready, all that fun stuff. And an idea we had for the square after this is done. So back in 2000, when the Bucks won the NBA Finals or whatever that was, we live streamed that series down the square. And I was approached to see if we could do that again for the Brewers for their playoffs, if they make it. Like for their first series, like the first series, you play the first game and then the elimination game, and then say they make it to the NLCS, you play that whole series, and if they make it to the World Series, you play that whole series, just for something fun for people to come out and watch the Brewers in their playoff run, if they make it that far. Another thing is the heat shack over by the hockey rink by Maltos grounds, that's been green and it's been looking pretty rugged for quite some time, so I had the kids repaint that, so that's looking as good as it can for the time being. We're thinking about this fall, if we have time, to possibly rip out all the concrete that's in there and re-pour that, because it's all just cracked and it's pretty bad inside for people maybe have skates on. You're gonna have a rubber mat, you're gonna want it to be somewhat decent. And then earlier in the month, we had Rock and Boom. Obviously, that was another huge success for the town, and it went very well. And the cleanup the next morning was a breeze compared to last year. Like last year it took 5 hours, and this year we were in and out of there in 1.5 to 2 hours. So we had 15 extra garbage cans that GFL donated, which made a huge difference. So all in all, it was good.
Any more vandalism in any of the restrooms in the parks or anything?
I have not had anything. Like in June, I think it was, someone ripped off the lock at Fabric Park women's bathroom. The lock is still functional. So other than that, and it was like a $5 fix, so it wasn't the end of the world. But other than that, I haven't had really anything.
Well, that's good.
Do you know if they replaced the little library down in May Park that was destroyed by the tornado?
That one will be coming up as well. She's got like 2 more. I think one's going to Ziegler and then one's getting replaced down there. Yep.
Okay, any more questions? Okay. All right, thanks.
Yep.
Number 5, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Who's next here? Way down there.
Call to order the City of Mayville Finance Committee meeting, July 28, 2025 at 6:58 PM. Take the roll.
Alderperson Newman,
Here.
Alderperson Smith,
Here.
and Alderperson Hinkle is absent this evening.
Number 2, approval of minutes. 2A, approval of minutes of June 23rd, 2025 Finance Committee
I'll
meeting.
make a motion to approve the minutes.
Smith and myself, I second that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unopposed. Citizens' comments for finance. Seeing none, we'll go on to number 4, discuss with possible action. 4A, review the proposed 5-year capital improvements plan for the City of Mayville. Steph, are you gonna bring that up?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
So, according to the budget timeline, all the department heads submitted their capital requests by August or July 6th, 10th. And so we compiled it, Nicole and myself. And so reviewed them. As you can see, some were from last year and some new projects were added to the CIP for 2026. All of the funding sources are not filled in yet. We have to wait and see if there, any money is left over from this year's road projects that we carry forward. Other revenue sources, we have to figure out the street projects for Grove and Allen. If the council decides to do special assessments yet for the curb gutter and sidewalk there, then that cost can be put in the other column for special assessments to cover them costs. The tag center are all projects that I will be presenting to the Lockyer Foundation at their request for next year. Wastewater department, I reviewed them with Courtney, and she has their funding sources to cover her projects. So what we're looking at is the general admin, EMS, clerk, elections, fire department, police, and emergency management. And DPW, and I put the parks projects that were on there, I put them in with the DPW now, because that will be one department. So, and this is just for your review at this time. So if you have any questions or concerns or whatever, you can give me a call. Unless you have anything to add.
We're gonna be tweaking it.
Yeah, especially, so the PMP projects were the Green Bay, Forest, and Better Way. I don't see any funding coming through for that, so we'll probably push them off to next year. But hopefully Oak Street we can do along with Grove and Allen, and find enough funding for that. Because Oak Street makes sense to have it done in that area, you get a much better price.
Right.
And Oak Street would just be a mill and pave, whereas the other projects are your complete reconstruction. Yeah.
So like some of the stuff she's got on here, like on levy, so if it's $10,000 or less, the department should try to meet that cost. And then if it's more than that, we need to figure something else out because we're already going to be levying the principal and interest payments for the last 2 years of borrowing. So we're already levying for the principal and interest. So we're gonna have to figure something out on this levy and what the department heads actually need. Always, we might have to push it off until 27 and 28 when we borrow more money.
Because we already borrowed the money for 2026.
And 5, yeah.
Correct, you can see where the debt is. However, you can, like the building maintenance, there's 77,000 on debt. I mean, if there's a need somewhere else besides building it, you can definitely move it to another project. It's up for discussion.
Thank you.
Yeah, you just want to bring it in for review, right?
We'll be discussing this at the department head meetings on one-on-ones.
Right. 4B, discuss with possible action, pay request number 1 from Northeast Asphalt, $620,452.28 for the 2025 asphalt paving / milling project.
All right, Don, you good with the payment amount?
Good evening. Yeah, I went through that, reviewed it, everything checks out. As I noted on the cover letter, it's not a final payment request, there's still retainage left on it, some final items to come in. So there will be one more pay request yet for that.
Is there any restoration that needs to be completed yet? Or?
No, restoration's all done. I will say we got a phone call last week, there is an issue up on High Street, right on the corner here by Highway Trail. Looks like the surface is slipping off the binder, so whether there wasn't enough tack coat or, so I looked at it with Northeast Asphalt last week. We agreed to let it sit for a little bit, see if it gets any worse, or if we find any other spots like that around town. So we're gonna give it a couple weeks. I'm gonna look at it with them and then we'll get it repaired.
What would be the fix?
The fix is I already talked to them, we're gonna take it out back behind where it's slipping and we'll replace it all the way up to Highland. I said we're not gonna agree to just to do a patch.
Yeah, no kidding.
So,
Otherwise we'll be sitting here like we have been.
right. So any questions on the pay request? The project is coming in under, I think tentatively right now without having the final in front of me, it's somewhere in the $125,000, $130,000 range.
So we might have some extra money next year to do some roads. Okay,
That's a good thing.
yeah.
Mr. Smith, any questions?
No, well, were you here for that discussion of the intersection of Sherman and Bridge, that the road bond and the slippage on the gravel there? Did they use the right? It seems to me we've had better luck with what we used to do than what they did there. I mean, that's really a hazard that keeps it wiping out.
What we can look at doing there is we can look at putting millings in there, asphalt millings, those will pack right in there.
Yeah.
And that way it won't track out on the road, so that's something we can look at, I can talk with Jack.
Right. Because, I mean, he could sweep it and keep sweeping it, but
Right.
it's gonna keep, every time somebody lays rubber around that corner or whatever, it just, and it is a hazard because of those guys on motorcycles, they come around there. You know, if they slip on grass clippings, they'll slip on that for sure.
Right. Yeah, we can look at that, we can look at doing millings.
Okay.
If you do millions, are you gonna do like a Fox seal too?
Shouldn't have to on millings. That's just for shoulder, right? You're just
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about dragging it off the shoulder.
Yeah, on the curve.
I wouldn't waste it on
On Bridge in German?
No, on River and German.
Oh, you said Bridge.
River, I sorry,
Correct.
River and German, that, you ever come around that corner?
Right.
Okay, thanks.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to, pay the $620,452.28, but understanding there will be more coming after.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed. 4C, discuss with possible action bids for seal coating the Tag Center parking lot.
Did this make it? This didn't go in their packets or handout or anything?
It was handed out tonight. So
Okay.
there's a handout on your bids.
I got one. So in front of you then is the bid tabulation for the seal coat that we opened bids on last Friday. The way we bid it, we did a base bid for just a single seal coat, single layer. Then we did an alternate for a second coat. And then we did an alternate bid item for doing the pavement marking. So as you can see, American Pavement Solutions out of Green Bay, they were the lowest at $18,467.30. Second quote by them would be $3,507.65. And then the pavement marking, and this is epoxy paint, $9,680. So if you were to award the base bid and the two alternates, you'd be looking at $31,654.95. There's two things. One, I haven't worked with them before, so we got references from them on Friday. We called those. Everything checked out. I mean, there's nothing bad reported. I did follow up with them with their bid price on the second quote for alternate number one. They did say that was a full second quote for that $3,500. So I just wanted to make sure they weren't going to come back and say their base bid was like just a thick coat and they weren't going to do much for the second coat. But they did say it's a full second coat of the parking lot for that. The other thing I talked to them about on the pavement marking for alternate two, if we go to latex, which is still a good paint, it doesn't last as long as epoxy, but if we went to a latex paint, we could reduce that cost by $5,800.
What do we budget for the project?
35,000 was approved.
What it came in?
31,654.
If we take the latex paint, we could do a change order to deduct that, and that would come in at $25,854.95.
What do we gain with the late, I mean, we save money, but
Save money.
But how long is the life expectancy compared to the?
Epoxy versus regular latex.
Just depends on the amount of traffic and how long the years to the pavement, but.
we don't have a
latex,
lot of traffic.
Latex, you get a couple of years before you probably gotta go over it again. There's nothing saying epoxy would be that much better.
What would you recommend? Try the latex? What did we use the first time?
That I don't know.
I think it was acrylic paint.
I mean, I don't know if the city has marked this over the years or not. That's why we threw it in the bid. I asked John, and John said to go ahead and get a quote for pavement marking. I think if it were me, I'd probably lean towards the latex just based on the cost saving.
Yeah, save $5,000.
It brings
I
it
say
down.
it's down if you gotta go over it in 2 or 3 years, you got the markings there.
Yeah. So we asked-
25,800 then.
On there was some discussion about whether we would save money by eliminating some of the resurfacing down in the lower area or the marking. But where this is the whole,
This is the whole,
redoing the whole thing, even though those
it's everything,
spaces are never,
that's all the asphalt that's there. It's
and
all-
there wouldn't be any appreciable savings by leaving this the marking of the stalls out down there, no?
I don't think so, not when we're looking at $3,800 if you go on latex paint.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll make a motion to accept the, what would it be, the base and the alternate, and then go with the latex.
The one thing tonight though is we need to award their bid. We need to award the $96.80 for the pavement marking.
Right.
We need to award the full contract, and once you guys award it, then we'll do a change order for the deduct to go to latex. But we need to award the bid based on what they bid.
Okay. So we would do that after the fact?
After the contract's
Yeah.
awarded.
and then
Okay,
a change order.
all right. I'll make the motion to approve the bid as outlined.
I will second that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We go with that bid and send the change order?
Yep.
They know that's coming?
Yep.
With the latex. Thanks, Bob.
All right.
Number 5,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
No,
No, wait,
close that.
wrong one. Okay, closed session.
I'll
make a
second
motion to go into closed session.
I'll second that. Go into closed session 7:12.
have to do roll call to go into.
Roll call?
session.
Yeah,
Let me end this. Sorry. Alderperson Newman,
Aye.
Alderperson Smith.
aye.
Closed session.